Welcome aboard, and thank you for joining us on the Prairie Lily. We will spend the first half of our cruise moving upstream against the current along the South Saskatchewan River. As you came down to the dock, you passed the Nutrien Wonder Hub, Saskatchewan's first and only children's museum. Their 12 permanent exhibits offer hands-on interactive environments designed to facilitate collaborative play and learning. Off to starboard, on your right-hand side, is the Shakespeare on the Saskatchewan Festival site, open year-round for public access. During their annual summer festival, you can partake in everything from professional Shakespearean productions to medieval feasts, or just stop by and enjoy the view from their riverside patio. Across the river on the east bank is the University of Saskatchewan campus. The university was established in 1907 and today spans almost 3,000 acres. The campus is home to Vito Intervac, an infectious disease research and development organization, Canada's only synchrotron, a research facility that can determine structural and chemical properties of materials at the molecular level, as well as early cancer research, the Center for Nuclear Innovation, and colleges of agriculture, education, engineering, law, medicine, pharmacy, dentistry, and veterinary medicine, among others. The university grounds are also home to the province's Jim Pattison Children's Hospital, which you can see on the east bank of the river. The two other prominent buildings you see are the Dubé Center for Mental Health and the Royal University Hospital, Northern Saskatchewan's trauma hospital, which includes a helicopter pad for the Shock Trauma Air Rescue Society, or STARS helicopters.
I didn't know you guys were interested. Otherwise, I would have called you guys to book this place. But it's 25 minutes standing, so.
We have just passed under the University Bridge, the first of 4 bridges we go under on our tour. Often called the 25th Street Bridge, it was built between 1913 and 1918 to connect the new university with downtown Saskatoon. Its original length intersected at 25th Street and Spadina Crescent. Later, Riverbank Development saw Spadina Crescent routed under the bridge's first span. On the east bank, off our port side, is Cosmopolitan Park, which remains much as it was in the 1880s. Over on the west bank is Kiwanis Memorial Park, stretching between the University Bridge and the Broadway Bridge upstream. Park development took place during the 1930s, partially as a relief labor project. The park is home to memorials commemorating military personnel who served in World Wars I and II, including the Vimy Memorial and the Kiwanis Fountain. There are also various statues, including one of Governor General Ray Natition, who started his working life as a paperboy with the Saskatoon Star Phoenix. Also on the west bank is Spadina Crescent. It was once lined with prestigious homes, many of which have been repurposed for commercial use or replaced with office buildings and condominiums. You also see 4 of the community's historic churches, built in the early 1900s, beginning with Knox United Church, then St. John's Anglican Cathedral with its very tall brown steeple. Further along with the black steeple is St. Paul's Catholic Church. St. Andrew's Presbyterian Church is harder to see, hidden away near the foot of the Broadway Bridge. We are coming alongside the Besborough Hotel, named for one of Canada's Governors General, which is known as Saskatoon's Castle on the River. The hotel was built by the Canadian National Railway between 1928 and 1932, but was unable to open until 1935 because of financial constraints caused by the Great Depression. The hotel boasts 225 rooms. Its modern French Renaissance design is similar to the other famous railway hotels across Canada. Design features include 32 unique gargoyle-like statues at front and sides. Grotesques and gargoyles are normally images of mythological creatures, but the ones on the hotel are images of Saskatchewan creatures like buffalo, beaver, moose, deer, and a large bumblebee that overlooks 21st Street at the front of the building. The hotel's front doors face the original CNR passenger station, which is now the front doors of the Midtown Plaza.
It's by the bridge down there. See that bridge? I'm going to start looking there in case there are any. Yeah, because there's such a huge boat with lots of people on it, all the little scary little creatures will go after us and like start looking. Yeah, they're also looking.
And then we see that little gazebo where people usually take pictures. That white line over there.
Yeah, but that's because you live here. Like when you don't, like you notice what the
We will soon be passing under the Broadway Bridge, which connects the Broadway district on the east or left bank to the city's downtown. This classic old bridge was built in 1932 as a make-work project during the Great Depression of the 1930s. The design and construction of the bridge was overseen by Dean of Engineering at the University of Saskatchewan. Only men with families were allowed to get jobs. They were paid 25 cents per hour and were laid off once they had earned about $35. Only shovels and wheelbarrows were used in the construction with the goal of providing jobs for as many men as possible. Work proceeded 24 hours every day over 11 months through one of the coldest winters on record in Saskatoon. This bridge truly is a representation of Saskatoon life and history, as it was designed and built by its own citizens. Immediately upstream of the Broadway Bridge is Friendship Park, the site of the original cable ferry crossing that operated here from 1890 to 1907. In the park is a Dumont, the military leader of the Métis militia, which fought against the Canadian Army during the Northwest Resistance in 1885. They were defeated at the Battle of Patoche, which is downriver north of Saskatoon. Their political leader, Louis Riel, was captured and taken to Regina, where he was later hanged for treason. Gabriel Dumont managed to escape to the United States, where he participated in Buffalo Bill's Wild West show. He was eventually pardoned by the Canadian government, returned to Saskatchewan, and lived a peaceful life as a ferry operator. Ahead of us now is the new traffic bridge, also known as the Victoria Bridge. The original bridge opened in 1907 to replace the unreliable cable ferry system. It was the first bridge ever built on the South Saskatchewan River for vehicles and pedestrians, bringing together the settlements of Lutana on the east bank and Riversdale on the west, creating what is now the city of Saskatoon. The bridge was rebuilt in its original style and reopened in 2018. Over on the west bank is the newest riverside development known as River Landing. River Landing is a feature location for artistic, cultural, and community gatherings. It is home to an amphitheater and a splash park water play feature which depicts a map of Western Canada's river systems. The public promenade includes various visual art installations and is a popular place for music, dance, and cultural displays. The tall buildings you see along River Landing are the Alt Hotel and condominiums, an office tower, and Saskatchewan's tallest building, Nutrien's world headquarters. Nutrien is the largest fertilizer producer in the world. 1/3 of the world's potash is produced in Saskatchewan. The large buildings on the right include the Remy Modern Art Gallery, backed by the Remy Arts Centre, home to Saskatoon's Persephone Theatre. The architecture of the Remy Modern Art Gallery is designed to connect topographically with the prairie landscape, with its low, flat structure reflecting its surroundings. The mesh exterior you see is inspired by the copper roof of the Besborough Hotel. The 3-floor gallery includes a public museum for large-scale art commissions, an active learning studio, a Picasso gallery, a space for touring exhibitions, and a 150-seat theater for films, performances, and talks. The Senator Sid Buckwall Bridge is named after a former Saskatoon mayor and Canadian senator. This bridge is the site of the first railway bridge to pass through Saskatoon. It was built in 1890 and owned by Canadian National Railway. The CN rail yard and passenger station was on the west bank, establishing the core of what would become a commercial and industrial area and later downtown Saskatoon. Mayor Buckwald was instrumental in relocating the CN rail yards out of downtown, clearing the area for the Idlewild Freeway development, the Midtown Plaza, and the Centennial Auditorium. The Buckwald Bridge officially opened in October 1966. Beyond the bridge, we are coming to the end of the Riverfront Park at Riverbank. The hexagonal building on the riverbank was the original pump house for the coal-fired power station on the top of the hill. Although no longer used, the pump house has been preserved because of its historical significance. Other features in this area include a fitness park, a statue of John Lake and Chief Whitecap, pathways that lead up to the market area, and many unique restaurants and coffee shops. As we continue upstream, we come alongside Victoria Park, one of the city's oldest and largest parks. It is home to public gardens, a tennis club with indoor courts, and a skateboard park. The area beyond the riverbank used to be the center of Chinese business, culture, and community in Saskatoon. Chinese immigration to Saskatoon began near the turn of the last century. The Zhongshantung Committee has erected a traditional pagoda in Victoria Park to commemorate the first Chinese immigrants and their contributions to early Saskatoon. Part of Victoria Park has been designated as a reconciliation circle. The commemorative art piece, The Coming of Spring, was commissioned by the Saskatoon Tribal Council and the City of Saskatoon in response to the Truth and Reconciliation Commission of Canada's calls to action to commemorate the contributions and history of Aboriginal peoples to Canada. The 27-foot tall arch and two spires are constructed entirely of stainless steel that reflects the sun and moon. The longer 47-foot spire, pointing north, symbolically represents the First Nations' long history. The 39-foot spire pointing south symbolically represents the history of the Métis Nation. Suspended high on each spire are moving chimes whose sound suggests the voices of children heard at a distance, representing the children taken by the residential school system from all of the communities in Treaty 6 territory. is Saskatchewan Crescent West, the only place in the city where private property comes down to the river's edge. Early settlers surveyed this land and divided these riverfront lots among themselves. In the years since, community leaders decided no more private property should be surveyed to the river shore, and that everything along the river should remain public land. Some of the old houses remain, but most have been replaced with new multi-million-dollar homes, often on double-sized lots with manicured gardens, in-ground swimming pools, and exquisite views of passing riverboats. The river in Saskatoon can get very busy. Off to starboard is the Victoria Park Boathouse. It is home to Saskatoon's canoe, kayak, and rowing clubs, whose members train daily throughout the summer. You will also see many paddleboard, powerboat, and personal watercraft users enjoying the river. Past the boathouse is the city's water treatment plant with its settling dome and storage silos. Passengers may notice an orange tinge in the riverbank by the plant. This is caused by ferric sulfate, a harmless substance used in the treatment of the water and discharged out of the plant. Visible are two of the original stone buildings constructed in 1906. The facility has been significantly upgraded and enlarged to service our growing city.
Can you go up the stairs, please? Hold on to the railing.
What?
That was mine.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to that point in the cruise where we're going to do that switch we were telling you about at boarding. We find the best way to do this is have the upper deck passengers go down on the right-hand staircase facing forward, the starboard staircase, and our cabin passengers, if you come out of the cabin on the left-hand door and up the left-hand staircase, and that saves a big traffic jam. So we get that going now, folks. That'd be great. Upper deck down on the right, lower deck up on the left. Thanks very much in advance for your cooperation.